Don't worry, I won't clown you, by the way. But our daddy does own the building, no cap, though. Right, guys?
We're gonna go down and leave.
Envy, I believe, is the most predominant sin today. One our culture feeds upon ad nauseum. One needs to look no further than social media to observe such behavior. We see selective and carefully crafted snapshots of an event or aspect of a person's life. Yet it is clear this is done to convince you, no, themselves, that they are living a good life.
Yeah, do that one more time. Yeah,
we see videos and pictures of celebrities living supposed lavish lifestyles. We see influencers who provide nothing useful to society, yet make abhorrent amounts of money doing so. We see models and athletes that are chiseled like Greek gods or shaped in unrealistic proportions. We see millionaires and billionaires playing with money and people's lives as though it was nothing but an afterthought. How can we not be envious? How can we not feel jealous of those who are born with looks, talents, and good health? How can we justify hard work and honesty when liars and criminals run our country in bodies of power? This is the thorn that lies within the flower of envy.
Isaiah 40. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem, and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed. In the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be raised up, every mountain and hill made low. The rough ground shall become level, the rugged places a plain. And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all people will see it together. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of our God endures forever. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, or with the breadth of his hand marked off the heavens? Who has held the dust of the earth in a basket, or weighed the mountains on the scales, and the hills in a balance? Who can fathom the Spirit of the Lord, or instruct the Lord as his counselor? Whom did the Lord consult to enlighten him? And who taught him the right way? With whom then will you compare God? To what image will you liken him? Then he blows on them and they wither, and a whirlwind sweeps them away like chaff. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Holy One. He gives strength to the weary, and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint.
It seems alluring and justified to think this way, but much like a rose, we may cut ourselves when we grasp it. We all know comparison is the thief of joy, but in the grips of something beautiful, charming and alluring, we lose our footing on the grounds of reason. We fail to see that the rose shall wither, and we fail to see that the flower itself has no value, but the value we place upon it. We should question what we value as a society and how we feel about it as individuals. Beauty is often dependent on scarcity and rarity. So then why do we value the rose as the symbol of a beautiful flower, when it is all too common? Why are certain traits and looks considered the symbol of beauty and value in our society? Because certain corporations, governments, and powerful institutions have the money, resources, and manpower to learn how to cultivate human behavior and patterns, and use that knowledge to influence our thoughts and perceptions. From the grocery store to social media, psychological tricks and manipulation are being used to pull you into their system, or to convince you to buy into their vision, belief, or product. If these institutions reward certain traits and lifestyles, then we too will follow. This is because humans are a tribal species. What the majority believes must be correct. We are raised to think in a scarcity mindset. We feel as though we deserve a good life, and that someone else less deserving, or someone who has suffered less than we have, is unrightfully obtaining our potential. It benefits the controllers of power and wealth to keep us angry at each other. Just look at the anger between men and women, black and white, developed countries and non-developed countries. While we should take responsibility for our place in life and our decisions, we have to also acknowledge we have been played. Just look at the world 10 years ago. What has happened to us as a society? More than ever does envy and wrath rule our hearts and minds. We have been psychologically manipulated into following movements, brands, parties, and institutions that in our right minds we never would have followed previously. We are told what is valuable, beautiful, and moral, and the people who wield the power lie and change history before our very eyes. They gaslight you and convince you that lies are truth, that pain is pleasure, that up is down, and that wrong is right. We are told it is progress, but it is a trap that consumes our minds and souls. Most people are followers and don't wish to bear the burden of critical thought. They are too busy living in illusion to confront the painful and isolating nature of our current reality. I believe much of this lies in pride, but largely in envy. We think that if we say the right things, puppet a certain agenda, select a certain side, wear the right clothes, and do certain things, we too may get a slice of the pie. This is why art is dying. The power of money and the allure of success has shaped the collective conscious through the manipulation of media, corporations, and governmental bodies. Once we see this and study the lies and manipulations fed to us, we can begin to gain sight of what is actually presented to us. The plastic dolls paraded around do not reflect the reality of women, nor do the men who abuse drugs and surgeries reflect the reality of men. The artists we see living a lavish lifestyle are almost always broke and owned by their label. The celebrities we worship were typically abused since childhood and are controlled by handlers and agents. We may see a rich businessman, but we don't see his broken marriage or the kids he never spends time with. The people we see on social media flaunting a fun lifestyle are typically lost, miserable, and unsure of themselves. While this isn't the case for every individual or situation, with practice, we begin to see into such matters with more clarity and perspective, and realize all things have pros and cons. We see our burning desire and envious mindset is really nothing but a poorly thought-out assumption. Even if someone is successful or rich, who's to say one day we won't be as well? Who's to say the rich man won't be broke one day, the model ugly, the liar exposed? Does it really matter? When we are following our purpose and seeing life as a school and not a cage, that we are free to relax and focus on our journey, our path, our strengths and our weaknesses, we will always want more, or want what we don't have when in the grips of envy. Escape the illusion of reality and see that everything you need you already possess. You must simply take hold of it.